Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalam ala khatimin nabiyyin nabiyana Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi zidni ilma. Rabbi zidni ilma. Rabbi zidni ilma. Okay, inshallah, very quickly we'll recap what we learned in the last session and then continue our today's session. So last time we started with the oaths in the surah or in the Quran Majid. Yeah, particularly oaths in this surah. Okay. In the beginning of this surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does oaths. That is aqsam. Aqsam is the plural of khasam. Yeah, khasam means oath. Yeah, but why are oaths used? Amongst the early generation, including the tabi'un, students of the companions of Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, many had the opinion that an oath is used for something, number one, sacred or powerful or magnificent, or something which is elevated and honored to get the attention of the listener, or and a manifestation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's intense anger. So I think last time we went through a little bit more details about these aqsam. Yeah. For example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swears by the sun, moon, etc. in the Quran Majid. Okay, then we started with ayat number 1. Auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. An-Naziati gharqa. By those within bracket angels who extract with violence. Now, the surah begins with an oath by mentioning certain characteristics of an object. The object of the oath has been contextually deleted. That is, the object for which an oath has been sworn by has not been mentioned. So having 5 qualities continued in the next 4 ayat. There are numerous opinions on what this is referring to. One scholar mentions Ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhuma had the view that Naziat, Nashitat, Sabihat, Sabikhat, Mudabbirat, or the angels. A second opinion from Hassan al-Basri rahimallah, he says these are the stars, that is comets, when they have been pulled out of the sky. A third opinion says Naziat refers to strong winds. So this ayah can imply the following. Angels. Allah is swearing by the angels who enter in the body of the disbeliever and pulling out their souls forcefully, which does not want to come out. Number 2, strong winds. Allah is swearing by the hurricane and tornadoes, winds which pull and force out roots of trees or buildings out of their foundations, etc. Yeah, this is according to Imam Islahisa. However, a number of the companions radiyallahu anhum have expressed the opinion that they are the angels. So the oath of the angels is probably suitable on this occasion because they are all the time involved in the administration and running of the world, They are just executing their duties loyally. Then in ayat number 2, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "Wan nashitati nashta," and by those who remove with ease. The second quality of the angels. One nashitati nashta, by those angels who gently take out, within brackets, the souls of the believers. The word an-nashitat is derived from the word nashta, and it means to untie the knot. This signifies to untie the knot of something which contains water or air so that it may be released easily. Now, this is a metaphor for drawing out the souls of the believers gently, unlike the souls of the disbelievers, which are pulled out harshly. In this case, the adverb smoothly refers to the spiritual smoothness and not to the physical experience. In ayat number 3, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "Was-sabihati sabha," and by those who glide as if swimming. Yeah, that's in the bracket. The third quality of the angels, was-sabihati sabha, and by those who float in the atmosphere swiftly. The word sabha literally means to swim or float. Here it signifies to glide along swiftly as in the sea where there are no barriers. The one who swims fast and goes far in swimming, or a boatman who moves directly towards the final destination. The angels who float swiftly refers to the quality of the angels of death who extract human souls and take them quickly towards the sky. So inshallah, today we'll start our lesson from ayat number 4. Yeah. Was-fassabikhati sabkha, and those who race each other in a race. Let's first look at the word for word translation. Then inshallah we'll go to the ayah details. Okay. Fa is al-fau atifa. Yeah. So this is like, the ayat number 1, 2, 3, 4, they are all one subject matter. Yeah, it's like then, or you can say and. So you can, use the word and or then. Yeah, fa is and conjunction particle, alfa watifa, as-sabihati, as-sabikhat, those who race each other. Yeah, sabkha, a race. Like, you're competing in the race. We'll see that inshallah. Okay, as-sabikhat is noun, feminine noun is majroor. Yeah, sabkha, a race, noun is mansoob. Okay, فَالسَّابِخَاتِ sabkha, and those who race each other in a race. Now this is the fourth quality of the angels. فَالسَّابِخَاتِ sabkha, then proceed forward quickly. According to divine instructions, the angels who do not delay in transporting the souls of people to their good or to their bad abodes. Yeah, this is one of the qualities of the angels, because they obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala 100%. They cannot delay. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, go and take and bring the soul of a believer, then they don't delay. So they go immediately, they take out the soul from the body and then take it to the heavens. Okay, and they don't delay. This is what it means. Sabha, they don't delay. They have got no, any reason to stay in this world. So as soon as they taken the soul, it is their duty to go and take the soul to the heavens. The soul of a believer is transported to the atmosphere and blessings of paradise, that of a disbeliever to the atmosphere and torment of hell. Fa is then. This connects the ayat number 3, third ayah with the meaning and the fourth. Yeah. So this is ayat number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're all like, uh, 5 different sentences, but one subject matter. Yeah, one subject matter. Okay. The word as-sabikhat. This is ismul file, doer of the act, those who race. Yeah. This ismul file means they race again and again and again and again. This is the job. This is like a job. Like last time, I gave you the example of Al-Khabbaz, yeah, the baker. He is baking bread every single day. This is his job. Yeah, so that's why this is ismul file. Yeah, this is the doer. So this doer of the act, as-sabiqat, those who race. This is the job of those group of angels. So they have, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has been appointed them to take out the souls of the believers. Okay. Sabkhan or sabha is mafulun mutlaq. That means the race, when one thing is ahead of in the race. Yeah. So they have to do it quickly. This is the job. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, go and take and bring it, and that's it. No more, things have to say that you have to come quickly, because they know they have been appointed for the job. They have been created for this job. And this is what they do perfectly. Every time they take out the souls, meaning angels, when the angels smoothly slide into the body to get the soul out. Yes, this is from ayat number 3, and race back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the soul they have taken, ayat number 4. This is what they do. This is particular for the believers. They go inside the body very gently. Like in the hadith, it says that the soul will come out like a drop of water from a cup or a mug. So how it is easy. If you tilt it, how easy the drop will come? Easily. So this is the easiness. This has been explained, that this is how the soul of a believer will come out very easily. No pain. Whereas the soul of the disbelievers, the soul will not try to leave the body. So they have to hit and pull it very hard and take out the soul. This is coming from the toes of the dead person. Another meaning, if you take it as winds, so when the winds smoothly push the clouds, yeah, ayat number 3, and the clouds raise something going ahead of the others. This is also possible, that when you see the clouds, not the cyclones, or not the heavy rains, not the huge flooding, or big thing, but these winds are very gentle. You are feeling very hard. So these winds are smoothly pushing the clouds. Yeah. And the clouds, there is something going against each other. You can see in the sky. If you look into the sky, which we don't, we have to look into the sky and see all these. These are the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which we are missing it. So if you really want to, go and stare into the sky, you will see all these phenomena. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, to conclude the whole, the 5 ayat. At the end, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Fal mudabbirati amra. And those who arrange each matter. Let's understand this first word for word, and then inshallah, we'll go into the ayat. So, fa is and. So as I told you, fa can be then, or it can be and. This is the conjunction particle. Al-fa'u atifa. Al-mudabbirat, those who arrange. So let's go and investigate what is al-mudabbirat means. And in context of this ayah, what does it really mean? Amra is the matter. Is mansub. Again, is mansub. It's grammatically, but we'll understand what is amra means. We'll see, or amran. Yeah, we'll see inshallah. Fal mudabbirati amra, and those who arrange each matter. Now, this is the fifth quality of the angels. Fal mudabbirati amra, then manage to do everything they are ordered to do. In other words, the last task of these angels of death will be as follows. Those who are commanded to reward and comfort the deserving souls will gather means of reward and comfort for them. And those who are commanded to punish and cause pain to the evil souls will organize means for that. See, Allah has given two different tasks to two different souls. The souls of the disbelievers, so they will be punished. They will be pulled really hard. But as far as the soul of a believer, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given a command and they have to do the reward and comfort by pulling it very gently, very nicely, without any pain. The fa then is a continuation from ayat number 4. So as I told you, it's one subject matter flowing in the 5 ayat. Yeah. So this fa is connecting ayat number 4 and 5. Mudabbirat. Let's do some investigation on this word mudabbirat. This is once again a ismul file. Ismul file means a doer noun. Yeah, ismul file from the word tadbir. The Urdu speaking people, they understand what is tadbir means. Yeah, tadbir means thorough or detailed planning or organizing or complete execution of a command. Yeah, so this is tadbir. Generally also in Urdu language, what we do before starting a job, you have to do tadbir. You have to do a thorough and detailed planning how I am going to execute this job. And then maybe you have to write it down step by step, step 1, step 2, step 3. So this is called tadbir. So these angels, they are, because they are mudabbirat, they know what to do. Step 1, step 2, step 3, whatever the number of steps, and they will follow the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Precisely, thoroughly, they will do it. This is the job they are doing all the time. That's why they are called mudabbirat. This is a small file. They are doing tadbir again and again and again, like a khabbaz. He is preparing the bread again and again. So this is the job. Meaning, the angels who execute Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's commands. If you take it as winds in Surah Mursalat, ayat number 3 and 4, and by the winds that spread clouds and those angels who bring criterion. Some places get rain, others do not. Some places are flooded, others gain enough rain and pollen to turn into lush gardens. Both these meanings can be captured by these oaths. Why I put pollen? Sometimes when the clouds are moving and if there are heavy winds, so these winds, so they will do the pollination. The pollens are fallen and again other trees they grow. Okay, so they will allow for that. There are other words of planning in the Quran Majid. Yeah, apart from the word tadbir, there are other words also. Let's very quickly, we'll see briefly each word. The first word is tadbir, detailed planning and execution. This is in this ayah. Yeah, tadbir. The other word is qaid. Yeah, qaid is a plan of secrecy. Yes, remember, we read this in, Suratul Fil. Alam yaj'al qaidahum fi tadbir. Did he not make their plot go astray? Yeah. Remember Abraha? So he came with the big army and he had a secret plan. We discussed about two types of planning in Abraha's, attack. One was open. Everybody could see that he is going to attack Kaaba. The secret plan was, after destroying Kaaba, he wanted to build Al-Khulais, yeah, in Yemen. He wanted to build a big church, and he wanted to become the emperor of Arabian Peninsula. So that was his secret plan. And this secret plan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that is Qaid. Yeah, Qaiduhum, their plan. Fi Tazlil was destroyed, was put it to nullify. The other word has been used in the Quran Majid is the word makar. Makar is a plan of retaliation against an enemy. Okay? Whenever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ascribes this word to himself, it only occurs after the oppressors have oppressed Allah's believing slaves. Like, for example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah number 3, ayat number 54, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَكَرُوا وَمَكَرَ اللَّهُ وَاللَّهُ خَيْرُ الْمَاكِرِينَ. And they planned, and Allah also planned, and Allah is the best of planners. Now this word, particular word, because Allah himself has given this, makar in this ayah. Otherwise, normally we don't attach this word makar to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We don't from our side. Yeah. So Allah has given in the Quran Majid, it is there. There is another one word which is called hila. Yeah, a clever plan to maximize your benefit and minimize your harm by trying to manipulate the rules and laws. Yeah, so this is another word. I think these are the words, except the qaid, makar and hila, we use in Urdu language quite, freely, and tadbir also we use. But makar and hila we normally use, makar, hila. There's other words also. Yeah. Like, for example of this hila is la yastatiuna hilatan wa la yahtaduna sabila, except for the oppressed among men, women, and children who cannot devise a plan, nor they directed to a way. That is, sadly, some people in our Islamic history would give the money they owed in zakat, that is obligatory charity for purification, to their wives as a gift at the time of zakat collection. When the time for collection was over, their wives would give them their gift money back. Now, this is a hila. You can say hila in simple English, we say excuse. Yeah, so they are giving an excuse. Allah knows best, who did that and why they did that. Yeah, and mostly it is for the very rich people. Yeah, like Nawabs or kings or somebody, they did that because at the time of, when your money will become zakatable. When it will become zakatable, when the money has completed 12 months in a calendar, lunar calendar year, then you have to pay zakat. That is 2.5%. I don't understand how cheap, how mean these people can be from their millions and billions of, money what they have. They cannot give 2.5%. So what they used to do, they used to transfer that money into their wives' names. And then when the zakat period is finished, then they transfer back. And they do it in the banks also, they did it, till recently, they used to do that. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, protect us all. This cheating, yeah, this is a clear cheating. Who you are cheating to? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? No, no, no. We cannot cheat Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are cheating ourselves. Allah is watching. Allah knows everything. Allah knows our inside. Allah knows our outside. Everything Allah is watching. So therefore, this doesn't work. Yeah, it's not, good thing. This way they did not pay zakat. Yeah, and they use this method of hila. This is the method they use to give an excuse. Here, Allah used the word mudabbir. In this ayah, Allah is using the word mudabbir, yeah, from tadbir, yeah, taking a step back, that is dubr, before making an action. And when they have made their decision, They walk forward after a detailed decision has been made. Actually, dubur means it's a back of an animal, or our own back, what we call bottom or back. So this is also called as dubur. This is also called dubur. That means when you're planning, you have to look from all the angles. This is what it means. Not just looking from the back, you have to look from the forward, from the right side, left side, from the back, from all the angles. Then you plan. Yeah, so you are looking into all options, into all possible, problems, everything, and then you make a plan. How I am going to execute the plan. So Allah is giving this quality to the angels or winds. Yeah. So mainly here it is in context, it is angels. So Allah has given this quality, and this planning character or tadbir character is inbuilt in these angels. So they will not change. They will do exactly what they have been meant for. But after all these oaths, there was supposed to be a response. That is Jawabul Khasam. To the oaths, that is, I swear oath and I will do this. This is the response. I have told you this before, that whenever there is a khasam, there will always be a jawabul khasam. Yeah, always the jawabul khasam. When you say, I swear, don't do that. What does it mean? That, if you do it, you will feel the consequences. So this is jawabul khasam. But no response is mentioned to the oaths in this surah. This is called hazaf. Hazaf means omitted. This removal of a response is because this surah is part of a series of other surahs which do provide a response. Yeah. So in this surah, you see all the aqsam, the oaths, and the other surahs, they will provide the answer to these aqsam. That is Jawabul Khasam is there in the series of these surahs. So the benefit of removing the response. Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this particular surah has made it hazaf, the Jawabul Khasam. So let's look at some of the benefits. So that you research other surahs in the Quran to find the answers. That is the omitted response. Subhanallah, this is the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah, this is the gift Allah has given to you and me, that not everything is there in the Quran Majid. It's not like, flowing from A to Z. It's not like that. Many a times Allah has given some gaps. Allah has omitted some responses. Allah has omitted many things, and it is open for interpretation. Interpretation from the Quran itself. You do the Tafseer bil Quran. So you look at other places in the Quran Majid, that what that means. Yeah. Or you can look for what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said and how he has interpreted that, how he has applied. And then even if you don't find that, then or on top of that, you look at how Sahaba, they have responded, how they have dealt with this subject matter. And then our noble scholars, how they have interpreted, how they applied in their lives. What is the practical aspect of it? So this is what we have to learn, and this is the research we have to do it. Although, Alhamdulillah, our Urma Ikram, they have done a lot of research in the last 1400 years, and they have compiled many books. So, but still, we have to go through these books. Still, you have to look for these evidences. That's why Allah has omitted. Okay, this is for our own research. Number 2. Your attention remains on the rest of the surah to find out why Allah said these oaths in the beginning. Because this surah has not just got 5 ayat, it has got many more ayats. So you have to understand these oaths and then continue understanding the whole surah and how this surah can be applied, or the injunctions from this surah we can use and apply in our everyday life. This is more important. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taken 5 oaths by 5 qualities of the angels. Yeah, so I'm not mentioning winds. I have taken this as angels. So he moves on to a new subject in the coming ayah. So after taking the 5 oaths, then he is changing the subject matter or starting a new thread of discussion. Allah now begins to describe the day of resurrection. In Surah An-Naba, Allah describes the skeptic first, yeah, in ayat number 1 to 3. So what they're asking each other about the great news, yeah, about that which they are in dispute. We'll see that inshallah when we finish the surah and start the next surah, yeah, then we'll discuss more about these. Then later describes the hereafter. Surely the day of the decision will be established in ayat number 17. In this surah, Allah describes the resurrection first and the skeptics later. This is the beauty, and this is the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has described the Quran Majid or sent the Quran Majid. In some places, Allah gives something first and something next. In another place, the same thing is in a reversal order. And there is a reason, obvious reason for this. So now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has started describing the day of judgment. So what is this? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in ayat number 6, Yawma tarjuful rajifa. On the day, the blast of the horn will convulse creation. Yeah. So I put a couple of things in the brackets. Okay. Let's first look at word for word translation. Yawm. Now Yawma, the day. Yawm generally means a day. Yeah, generally Yawm means a day. But when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says Yawma, this is the day. Although it is the day, but it is the day, that is the day of resurrection. Yeah. So that is Zarfu Zama, time adverb. Tarjufu, will quake. Imperfect word, feminine noun. Yeah. And fail mudare, ar-rajifa, the quaking one. Yeah. We'll see that inshallah once again. So the ar-rajifa is a noun, feminine noun. Ism marfu. Yawma tarjufu rajifa. On the day, the blast of the horn will convulse. Yes, that's the creation. Now, the day that which is meant to rattle will rattle or shake. We'll inshallah look at this word rajifa, inshallah. Yeah, so we'll look in a little bit of details, inshallah. Ar-rajifa. This is once again ismul fa'il, noun ismul fa'il. Yeah, rajifa, the alif in the middle, it is telling me that this is ismul fa'il. That means it will convulse again and again and again and again. That which is meant to shake. So the final destiny of the earth is that it will shake. How will it shake? Not just one shaking. The shaking will continue until the whole world, what we see today is like a round shape, it will become super flat. Until such time, it will have convulses. It will have shaking. It will have quakes. So this will continue. All the, the mountains, what we see today, the hillocks, the stones, everything will be crushed against each other. And finally it will become powder. And this powder will once again become super flat. On this flat ground, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will descend. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's throne will be there. And then every one of us will be called for our accounts. Rajaf. What is the word Rajaf? Rajaf means rattling or shaking. The children, they will have a rattle. If you shake it, the children, when they shake it, it makes sounds, isn't it? So this is called rattling, yeah, or shaking. Only when you shake, it will rattle. Yeah, it is highly uncomfortable motion. It depicts the feeling of a person being affected by the rattling, discomfort and disarray. No control over oneself because you're also being shaken along with the earth because You are on the earth. This is what happens. Yeah. So this shaking will be very violent because you just imagine huge mountains. Yeah. Like for example, Mount Everest or so. They're so huge. Imagine if that happens, if they become super flat, how big shaking it should be. Must be really amazing. Yeah. This is like a super earthquake or something like that. And that will never stop until the whole world will become super flat. Similar words of shaking or rattling used in the Quran Majid. One, zallatun. Yeah, zalla is when one's feet slip. So zalzala is a repetition, someone's feet keep on slipping and tripping up, which occurs in an earthquake. Yeah, so zalla and zalzala. You see, this is the continuation. Yeah, it's shaking again and again and again. Somebody is standing on the ground when the earth is shaking. So how does that man feel? There's no control. The man is slipping, he's falling down, again he gets up, again he falls down. So this process is called zalzala. The other word used in the Quran Majid is rajun. Yeah, raj is a sudden jerk. This is the first stage of the earthquake. The sudden jerk on the earth when the earth first quakes from an earthquake. This is like uh, if you are standing on a carpet, yeah, carpet or something, and somebody pulls the carpet. You heard this. This is the example they give. Somebody pulled the carpet under my feet. This is what it means. What will happen to you? You fall down. This is called rajam. And then this is what happens when earth started quaking. So the people who are standing, they will fall down. The other one is mauran. Mauran from the word mara yamuru. Okay, this is the verb. When a large animal runs past you and you feel like the earth is shaking beneath your feet, that is similitude earthquake. You're standing there and the elephants are running in front of you. Elephants are huge. Yeah. So when they run, the earth or the surface of the earth will start shaking. Yeah, you can feel that. So this is called, Mauran. Yeah, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Yawma tamuru samau maura. When the skies shake, a heavy shaking. Yeah, this is in Surah Tur, ayat number 9. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says, Yawma tarjuful ardu wal jibal. On the day, the earth and the mountains will quake. In Surah Al-Muzammil, ayat number 14. Like the sand which is easily blown off, sand dunes, the mountains will have its material blown off just as easily, like carded wool. Yeah, this is the example Allah has given. Imagine a salt shaker. When it shakes, the salt easily comes out. This is how the mountains will be on that day. So again, Allah is saying that these mountains will be blast. These mountains will be crushed against each other and they will all become powder. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in ayat number 7, Tatbauha ar-radifa. There will follow it the subsequent one. First, let's look at the word for word translation and then inshallah we'll go into the ayah. Tatbau means follow, tabe. Tabe means, you can see that word ta, ba and ain. That means to follow somebody. Yeah. Follows imperfect word, feminine noun and fail mudare. Ha is it. Pronoun, yeah, feminine and damir muttasil. Ar-radifa, the subsequent. Noun, feminine noun is marfu. Tatbauha ar-radifa. There will follow it, the subsequent one. The second blowing of the trumpet follows it, and everybody will rise up. On the first blow, they'll all die. The second time, everybody will get up. Tatvahu, to follow. Ar-radifa from the word radfun. Yeah, a radaf is to follow close behind and literally moving along with it. Yeah, radifahu, he rode behind him on the same beast, that is camel or a horse, etc. Yeah, so they follow you wherever you go. So the rattling is followed by closely following. The one is successfully following the other. This is what means I was trying to tell you. So these zalzala or these quakes is not one. They follow each other. 1, 2, 3, 400,000. Allah knows best how many. So when these happens, the big rocks crushing against each other, that doesn't happen only once. So you have to rattle many, many, many times. And finally it will become powder, and this powder finally will become fine powder, and this will all settle down. Until such time, this rattling will continue. The scholars, they say that the first rattling of the earth is the blowing of the trumpet, that As-Sur, yeah, for the end of the earth. The second trumpet is for the beginning of the judgment day. Subhanallah. This has been mentioned in another places in the Quran Majid also, that when the first trumpet is blown, yeah, then everybody will die. The second trumpet is for the beginning of the judgment day. So this is the establishment. The day of judgment is established now, today. This was mentioned in Surah An-Naba. The day the trumpet will be blown, then you will come out in multitudes. Yeah, in ayat number 18, it says you come in multitudes. Multitude means what? Big groups. And some of them will be running helter-skelter. They don't know where they are going. They're confused. If you take the aerial view, they look like, moths, some kind of insect. They're running helter-skelter, any direction they're going. Radaf literally implies to sit behind something else and to follow where it goes. Well, in the modern day, you can say in a car, the driver is driving. Yeah, you are sitting behind the driver. Wherever driver goes, wherever the car goes, you are going behind him. Yeah, this is radaf. When words are really close to each other in spelling in the Arabic language, they are called mutaradifat. Yeah, they are synonyms. The similar words, they're called mutaradifat. Yeah, synonyms. Other words similar to radaf, but with a slight difference in the meaning, they are called khalafa, to follow something chronologically. Yeah, that is, he came after, followed, succeeded another one. Okay, that's also used. The other word is tala. Yeah, tala is to follow something repeatedly. Yeah, that is the word used for the moon when it comes after the sun. Or you can say when you are reading the Quran Majid, you are following the ayat. One ayat, ayat number 2, ayat number 3, ayat number 4. You are following one after the other. Tala yatlu. Yeah. Radaf behind something and literally moving along with it. So as I gave you the example, so you are moving along. You're sitting, two people are sitting on the camel or horse or a car or a bus. You are going in the same direction. Then in ayat number 8, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Qulubun yawmaizin wajifa. Hearts that day will tremble. Let's first look at the word for word translation, and then inshallah we'll go to the ayah. The first word is khulub. Now khulub is hearts. Qalb is one heart. Yeah, qalb is one. Khulub is the jama. Yeah, qalb is one. Khulub is jama. Hearts. Yeah. Feminine noun is marfu. Yawm is that day. That is on that day, on the day of judgment. on Yawmul Akhirah. Yeah? That is time adverb, zarfu zaman. Wajifa, will tremble. This is an adjective, sifa, marfu. Qulubu yawmaidin wajifa. Hearts that day will tremble. Now hearts, some, you see here, you know, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says khulub, especially on that day, will shake with fear. Some, not all. Yeah, that means some hearts. By not placing the al, it's not al khulub. The before khulub signifies that some hearts will shake with fear. Yeah, so al is not there, therefore it is open. That means out of the khulub, some khulub, not all the khulub. Why? Let's understand. Yeah. See, when these things are happening, on the day of judgment is established, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala resurrected, all the human beings, from the earth. And again, they're running helter. They don't know what is happening. And their hearts are racing, because they don't know what is happening. They're so scared. Some khulu, when they look at these, particularly the khulu of the disbelievers, they are really racing. It's very high, running. These hearts are, beating. Why? Because they're scared. They know that this is the day we have been promised and we did not prepare for this. What is going to happen to me? Definitely, I am going to be punished. Because of the fear, this is happening. But some khulub, they are peaceful. This is the khulub of the believers because they know this was promised and this is the promised day. So they're tranquil because they have trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and they are waiting for the reward. So their hearts are not racing. Some khulub, they are racing. Yeah, khulubi yawmadun wajifa. So there are other hearts which will not shake with such a fear on the day. Will be explained later, inshallah. We'll do that, inshallah. Wajifa from the word wajaf. The Arabs would say wajaf their horse and it would get scared. When a horse is just walking, say the rider is sitting on the horse and he's just walking and suddenly he has got a big stick or something in his hand, or some they'll have a small nail or something and they just really hit hard and the horse will get panicked and start running fast. Yeah, this is also called wajaf. Allah describes the fear of disbeliever's heart like the fear of animal had. This is an insult to the disbeliever, since this person fears the calamities on the day of judgment, just like the animals, as I told you. So, because they know very well what is going to happen to them. Very soon, they will have to stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and they will be unable to answer Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala any of his questions, and their deeds will have no weight and they will be punished severely in the Jahannam. So that's why they are so scared. They're scared like that animal. There are many words for fear in the Quran Majid. Let's learn some of them, not all of them. The first one is khawf or khawfun. Yeah, khawf is afraid of physical fear or danger. Yeah. For example, if you see a snake in front of you or a lion in front of you, so how do you feel? This is a physical fear because you know the consequence. So you are scared, and this is called khawf. The second word is khashya. These are the words Allah has used in the Quran Majid also. Now, khashya is afraid of the magnitude of something, a perceived danger, like losing your job, etc. Yeah. This is also very, very important. The word khashya has been used in the Quran Majid many a times. The third one is khushu, an overwhelming feeling of fear which is shown on your face and limbs and face in our salah. Yeah, khushu. You know, when somebody says that when you do the salah, you need to have khushu. Khushu means you know who you are standing in front of. Just imagine if you are standing in front of a king or a president or a prime minister, how do you feel? You know, you cannot show arrogance. You have to be very humble. That should be, the feeling, your face should see that your eyes are down, your limbs are weak, your hands are weak. So that's why you are holding your hands together. This is the feeling we should have when we do the salah. We are standing in front of the King of the Kings. This is called khushu. The other word, which is very well known, is taqwa. Taqwa is fear which makes you guard yourself against. Yeah, wakhayakhi means to protect yourself. Yeah. So why you are protecting? Because you know the consequence. That's why you are protecting beforehand. Yeah, before the arrow comes your way. So what you're doing? You're holding a shield. Now this shield is nothing but taqwa. The day of judgment is coming. You are preparing before that. You're preparing a shield to protect yourself from the wrath of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is taqwa. This is like a proaction, proactively you're protecting yourself. The fifth one is hazrun or hazr, is to escape something out of fear and cautiousness. So somebody will say, look, if you go, that way, there are, very dangerous animals. So you say, okay, no, I'm not going that way. I'll go this way, even though this is a long route, but I will take that. That's more safer. So once again, this is, the word is hazrul maut. You have the fear of the death. So what do? You have to face the consequence. So you change your behavior, you change your attitude. Raw'un is to startle someone or to show up out of nowhere, and so the person becomes alarmed. That's what happens. Suddenly somebody comes, or some kind of animal or something, come in front of you. How do you feel that? You feel really scared. And this is called Raw'un. Number 7, the other word is wajasun, is a fear when you hear news that scared you. This is a hidden fear. You hear the news that the enemy has attacked the country, but has he attacked your region? No, not yet. But still you feel that maybe the enemy will come, the enemy will destroy my house, the enemy will destroy my family. So therefore you will have a sort of fear. This hidden fear is called wajasun. Number 8, wajanun, is to have a fear that penetrates deep into your heart. It makes a person tremble and shiver out of fear. So this is wajanun. Yeah, sometimes you feel, you heard that there's a, really bad kind of murder or something happened, or some earthquake happened or something, and you have this penetrate deep into your heart. So this is what happens, and you feel inside, you'll tremble from that fear. Number 9 is rahba. Yeah, rahbatun or rahba. It's a kind of fear that makes you very alert, very careful, and does not let you relax. This word came from the people we call rahib. Yeah, rahib are the people who have the fear of God. Yeah, although not the modern day, rahibs, what you see them. So they are committing a lot of shirk and other stuff. But the religious people, really God-fearing people, they used to protect themselves from all the sins, and they used to have a decent life. Don't look at what is happening in the modern world or the modern, rahibs. Yes, that's not the correct interpretation. So rahaba they makes you very alert. They know the consciousness. They know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is there. Allah is watching them. So they change their behavior and they lead a decent and good life. Rahib doesn't mean you go to the forest or you go to the top of the mountain and you have a house there, or you will have a convent there. No, that's not the thing. You can be a rahib, You can be within the society and keep away from the sins. This is rahma. Because you make very alert, the conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You worry about that. The 10th one is Raubun. This is to be overwhelmed with fear and terror, that it makes you lose your reason or terrified. We use this word in Urdu language also. Unka bada raub hai. Yeah, so that is a fear or terror you will have because this person is very powerful. The person can do whatever he wants. But now when it comes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the king of the kings and he is the owner of the judgment day, and he can do whatever he wants. So that fear will keep you on the track. Number 11 is shafahun. It has got many meanings in its different forms. Yeah, ashfaqatun is care or solicitude mixed with fear. Yeah? And number 12 is wajafun. Is fear mixed with discomfort. It is when your heart pounds and palpitates hard out of fear. So this is on the day of judgment. Their heart is palpitating really, really, really fast. And these people, they're so panicked. Yeah, it's like their eyes are popping out. They're so scared. So let's look at brief details of the above types of fears. So what I'll do, I'll start the types of fears, give one example, at least inshallah, and then I'll stop it. Okay, let's check the first one. Khawfun. The khawf, you can see within the bracket, triliteral root of this word. Yeah, kha, waw, and fa. Now khawfun or khawf, we use the same word in Urdu language also. Khawf is a perceived danger and a fear of something that is physical. Fear when a dangerous animal is chasing you. Yes, something which is mightier than you, something which is bigger than you, something which is faster than you is chasing. And how do you feel? You are running like mad person. You don't know where we are going. You're just running away from that fear. And this fear is called khawf. For example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran Majid, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَأَمَّا مَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ وَنَهَى النَّفْسَ عَنِ الْهَوَى. But as for him who feared, that is khawf, standing before his Lord, and restrained himself from impure evil lusts. Anil hawa. Yeah. Surah number 79, ayat number 40. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in this surah, inshallah, you'll see this khawf. Yeah. So this is the word. And this khawf has been used in the Quran Majid many a times. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says about the disbelievers, Kalla bal la yakhafuna al-akhirah. No, but they do not fear, that is khawf, in the hereafter. Yeah. So these people, at the moment, they are not afraid. But on that day, they will be trembling. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says, yeah, Allazi at'amahum min ju'in wa amanahum min khawf. He who has fed them against hunger and has made them safe from the fear, that is khawf. Yeah. Surah number 106, yeah, ayat number 4, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protected the Quraysh from this danger and granted them safety in Makkah al-Mukarramah. So I'm not going into the detail of this ayah. I think we have already covered this in Surah al-Quraysh, that how the people of Quraysh, they were blessed with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's help. They had fear of hunger. They had, fear of safety. So Allah protected them and made them the big business people, business class people, traders. So they used to go in the four corners of, the present day Saudi Arabia, and they used to do that business and made a lot of money out of that. And they become, the caretaker of Kaaba. This is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took them out from the juin, that is from the hunger and from the protection. Okay, so what I will do, I'll stop it here. Our time is up. Wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Okay.